the globe. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Allison.
And this is a channel about cross stitch. This is Flosstube University, where we do short tutorials for beginner stitchers, mostly for people who buy patterns from our Etsy shop. But if you are new and you discovered us a different way, welcome. And if you are not new and you want to leave any tips you have in the comments, we would love to make them really helpful for new stitchers. Mm-hmm. We have 3 kinds of videos on our channel. This is a tutorial, Flosstube University. They come out on Thursdays. On Mondays, we alternate between a Flosstube episode, which is a deep dive into our personal stitching. Very chaotic and crazy and fun, and part of a tradition. We name lots of other Flosstubers that you can check out. So if you've never seen one, welcome. We'd love to have you. And then in between those, we do Flosstube extras, which are like, we pick a topic, like we just did monogamous versus multi-project stitcher. We've done how to make needle minders, free summer patterns, like topics where we touch on them during our normal Flosstube, but like we get to kind of think about the expanded philosophy, or
basically what did we want to talk more about?
Like what did we feel like we had to stop talking about that would be fun to keep going?
What did we cut out that we should circle back?
So if you're not subscribed to our channel, we would love to have you, and that's what you can expect. Today's Flosstube University, we are in the middle of a series on how to organize your cross stitch floss. Last week we did bobbins, which is kind of what everybody starts with. And then I guess most people start with it unless they happen to see floss drops from another stitcher before they get started.
Oh yeah, I guess it depends on how.
Or if you start with a kit, I guess with a kit you probably start with like the kit.
The thread.
Yeah.
What are they called?
Yeah, the thread keeps that the kit has. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But today we're going to talk about floss drops, which is something that I feel like, I don't know when they started, but I feel like it's one of those things that older stitchers never talk about, like, 10 years ago I was using floss drops, but I don't know when they really started. Yeah. Allison's been stitching for 7 years, but she's a bobbin.
I'm a bobbin person.
Mm-hmm. And I decided to experiment with floss drops and then decided I actually am a floss drop person. So I have a couple different kinds of floss drops. The basic theory behind a floss drop and what makes them so like convenient for people is once they are set up. So once you have your floss off the skein set up, and actually, so like you take your floss off the skein, you wind it. I wind it around a 17-inch Q-snap. Some people wind it around like a specific tool that's the right length. And some people just are like, and this is what I've done too. It's just like, well, these are all the same length. The nice thing about using a tool is they're the same to each other. But so all your floss drops match. But so you just take your length and you just wind it. That was kind of scary actually, because not every one of these is full, but I'm pretty sure. Some of these I'm still putting on the floss drops, but it'll be okay. So once it's on there and you have all of yours on there, I actually have some of these labeled without the flosses in the back still to add. Then when you go to take them out, you just need to take a needle and you can put your needle under the thread and pull, and a single one will come out. Do you have a needle? I'll show you guys. I'll do a quick little demo. I've showed this on another one, like on how to separate stranded floss before, but if you haven't watched that video. So, that's fine. So you take a needle, this is a straight pin, but pretend it's a needle. And you put it under one, cover your eyes so it focuses. Okay. You put it under one string and you pull and it will come out. So if something that really bothers you about stitching is separating your stranded floss, then once you have your bobbins or your floss drop set up correctly, it removes that. There's different kinds of floss drops. There are some that are just like plastic or cardboard that are kind of shellacked things with one hole in them for you to put your floss. Then there are like some fancy floss brands, when they sell it, you can repurpose the tag as a floss drop and it has one hole. You just put the floss back in after you cut it so that it acts like a floss drop, and that's really common. Some floss drops have 2 holes and the other hole is for your working thread. So like this, I finished this thread, the stitches I needed. No, that's the one I just removed. Okay. All right, so I tend to just chuck DMC and not keep it on the work. Okay, here we go.
I'm bad at it.
So on this one, I had like stitched what I needed to stitch with this color. And instead of throwing away this like remaining length, I put it on the second hole. So it's for your working thread. So some floss straps have a working thread hole and some do not. And then some floss straps are really sleek and you can fit a lot of floss in a like small area, whether you have it be cardboard or some people make their own out of like playing cards. I think I actually want to try that. And some people just take this kind of stuff and shellac it, or they have very thin pieces of plastic. For your use in like a project bag for actually pulling the project out, I really prefer very thin floss straps.
Really? Wow.
And I just stick my working thread. These obviously don't have a second hole. You could theoretically make a second hole, but I will just stick my working thread right beside it. So the working thread, I can see that I have one or two that are separate, and that's easy. So for me, actually, to pull out of a project bag and stitch with, I like really thin ones. But the ones that are kind of in vogue right now, people talk about a lot, are Floss. They're called thread bobbins, and they come from Adam Hart Cross Stitch. She has an Etsy store, and she also you can buy them from her website too. The cool thing about these is when you're done with the project, so you can put them on your ring when you're stitching the project, but when you're done with the project, you can wind it up. They're shaped like a bobbin. You can wind the whole thing up around it, and you can put the extra floss in, and now you have something that stores like a bobbin. So you can put it in the same bobbin box. When I'm done with the project, I put these back in my bobbin box. I put the little sticker on because I write the number on the middle, but when I'm done, I put the sticker up here so that I can see it. And then I put them back in my bobbin box like bobbins. So if you want the use of a floss strap during a project, but the ease of storage of a bobbin, these are perfect. They're thread bobbins. Now, I actually have realized that these are so chunky, I don't really like stitching from them. And what I think I'm going to start doing is, as I create a master set, is keep the master set on these, but then have like homemade little cardboard ones and cute like thinner ones for the actual project, ones that I'm not worried about throwing away when the project is done, and then transfer that back onto the master floss bobbin when I'm done.
Okay.
So these, even though they're kind of fancy and popular right now, are actually very economical per bobbin compared to almost any other option.
Really?
So these are 38 for 100. It's really common to see 20 for 20. Like per bobbin, Adam Hart Cross Stitch is like the best deal that I have found for acrylic, like long lasting bobbins. And you can get the version that are these fancier ones that have two functions. But she also sells one that are like thinner, that are like, she sells ones that do blends, which actually would be really great. I'm having a blend nightmare where I keep making a blend and then forgetting where I put the blend, but I only have to do 10 stitches of the blend, so then I have to make it again.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have like 10 blend chips. So I think I want to do is buy a few bags, not now, but later, buy a couple bags of thinner ones from her because hers are priced so well. And then have these in a master set, take like half, like take what I need off of it and then keep this in the box and then put that on the floss strap. But it'll be ready to go because it'll be all cut up in floss strap length. Because it's just hard to store, like this many colors wouldn't take up that much room on thinner bobbins, but it's just because they're so
very, very thick.
And that happens with regular bobbins too. When you put them on a ring, they like kind of spool out, and floss straps are kind of easier to deal with in the project bag. So that's where I'm hopefully headed, is thin homemade floss straps in the project bag go on the permanent thread bobbin for the storage for the master set. And that way too, like I have 600 of these that will cover all that I need for the master set, and be able to have like a couple blacks, a couple whites, and then some extras in case something gets lost. Yeah. Instead of buying enough to have them in the project bags too. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but like some of my favorites are these very thin Lori Holt ones, but like per bobbin right now, Adam Hart is still a much better price per bobbin. So I think I'm going to stick with her even for the ones that don't need to be this fancy, because also she ships super fast. Like yeah, she's very, for a small business, it's like crazy how good she runs. Like, and she shows videos of her like doing it out of her house, but it's like they're in the mail so fast. So I can't recommend her enough. But I would say, like, if you just want to put it on a project and you don't want to do the master set, you might want to get a different style if you don't care. If the bobbin functionality is not necessary, I would get a thinner, smaller floss strap.
Yeah, those are pretty big.
Hi guys, so we recorded this tutorial about 2 weeks ago, and since then I actually like got really inspired by a couple of floss tubers that I saw to go ahead and do some homemade floss drops. So I just thought I would show you guys some of the things that I have updated since we recorded. So when I talked about like thin Lori Holt bobbins or floss drops that I had, it was these, which it's hard to, I'm holding the phone while showing floss drops. It's kind of difficult. So they're these, which I really like. And I thought I would not like that I didn't have a working thread. And I really don't like, I'm so used to not having a working thread on the fancy floss that it really doesn't bother me. Oh, there's my daughter's high chair. It really doesn't bother me that I don't have a working thread. And I love how thin these are in the project bag. And when I was watching Flosstube, and I thought a lot about how I really like the Adam Hart thread bobbins for storage, and I want something thinner. And I've already have 600 of those, so I want those to be the master set. But what do I want in my actual project bags? I saw Maria, the green stitcher, was using, I think she's using gift tags, but I'm not exactly sure, but like thin cardboard ones. She uses those for storage too. And I was like, I want something like that. And then Sarah from Sarah's Stitchery on her most recent floss tube actually showed her floss drops that are all cardboard gift tags. And one of the things she likes is that all of hers can match. But I don't need that because I'm going to have a matching master set. But I thought, oh, that would be great. Like, I do think I want to do homemade ones, but I want them to be inexpensive because I've invested in the Adam Hart floss drop system, like not system, but I've invested in those to make the system. So I went and got a hole punch that Sarah recommended. I got a different one because I got it at the store, but I followed her recommendations, and then I got some gift tags, and I made my own floss drops for the project I started yesterday, and I love it. So basically these thin disposable ones, I was able to write the number and the symbol for that project. They'll be like in the project, and then when they're done, all the extra floss will get transferred onto the master bobbin, floss thread bobbin, so that I don't have a nightmare of storing like pre-cut thread lengths, because part of the problem is you can't put these on regular bobbins, but I have the thread bobbins, but I could have it on like nice thin, it fits in like smaller project bags, and it's just easier in general to work with. I can like customize them better, which is something that in our next one that we talk about, Flossway bags, is something I really like about Flossway bags is you can write on them. So we have all of that functionality, but then as I'm making my master set, they'll be able to be like on bobbins. I'll be able to kit from there, and I'm really excited about this next chapter of my floss drop journey. Back to the main video. And this is great. If you have fancy floss, you don't even need to take it off the tag. You can just reassemble it. Like, I take it off, cut it, and then put it back on. Yeah. And then
That's probably that one that you were messing with.
oh, probably. And also she sells them. Doesn't this look like you're buying coffee? But you're buying.
It does.
I don't love the stickers she sends with them. Like, it's nice to have stickers, but I personally would I really want to get the Pip and Chip stickers, but they're like too expensive to get here. It's like silly to spend that much money on stickers, so I'm just going to use craft store stickers. What I'm thinking is, that's what I've been doing. But I think I might put a little Mod Podge or whatever, Mod Podge. Yeah, over it so that it stays. Because if you're gonna have a master set, having the Sharpie is like, it's a little bit like, it's easier if it's just all typed.
Sure.
Because I realized when I was organizing, I was like, what is that? Is it a 9? Did I write an 8? So that is what are thread drops or floss drops and how to use them. For storage, if you don't get the kind that are bobbins, like when I'm done with this, I have a box that's for overdyed cottons, but I don't have a huge overdyed cotton collection. You will see people have like multiple boxes, like where they have like a box and it's just their classic colorworks, and this is just my color and cotton. You'll also see people have beautiful pegboards, and like you can get really creative and fun with your storage of your floss drops. The Giddy Stitcher has like a closet system and stuff, and so you can have it so that it's really beautiful and aesthetically pleasing, or you can have it so that they're just in boxes away. It doesn't have to take up a ton more room than bobbin storage would. It's just, but it can if you want it. If you want them on your wall, go for it. Like,
yeah,
I wish.
I've seen some really pretty ones. Yeah.
But if you don't have that kind of space, you can just get a plastic box and stick it in your plastic box. Like, it's fine. It just wouldn't be a bobbin box. It'd be, I have like a little tub that I got at the.
Well, they're so thick that you'd have to use twice as many bobbin boxes.
For this, yes.
Yeah.
But for, if you're keeping them all on thin ones and you don't have, if you don't have them set up like this, if you just have thin like acrylic ones, then you could just keep it like on rings.
Yeah.
And some people put them on rings like by designer or in order or by color if you're doing a lot of color converting. I have all of my Gentle Arts on this ring that's not in other project bags. But when those projects are done, it will come onto this ring. So I just don't have a large overdyed collection. A lot of the overdyes I have are not in use and are like still in their skeins. From like, not from these places, but from other dyers. One thing you want to consider, so like this project that I'm doing 2/2 32 count. But if you cut all your floss for your floss drops, but you're gonna do 1/2 on 40 count, you might want it to be like half the length because I'm loop starting these. So you do kind of want to think when you cut your floss strap length, what do I do the most if you're making a master set, or doing them for 2/2 and then cut them in half to put on like a project you're getting them smaller, because once you cut them you can't uncut them. So you'll see people with like even longer floss drops, and you'll see people with like really short ones, and the really short ones tend to be they're doing it 1/2 on 40 or 46 or 56 count, things that I don't even believe a human can see.
Yeah.
I don't have any proof.
Somebody can.
No, there's no proof.
They make beautiful work. There's your proof.
So if you made it to this point in the channel, love you to leave a little raindrop emoji. That'll be our little floss drop emoji. That'll be our secret language that you made it this far. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. We would love to have you. Next tutorial next Thursday is going to be how to use floss away bags, which are very easy and simple if you've never used them before. And if you, and then Monday will be either a full Flosstube or a Flosstube extra. I can't remember at this point. I can't remember. But we would love to have you subscribe. It will go into our videos will pop up in your feed, and it doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. So thank you guys so much.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.